Well, the month of May is when many Canadians are opening and returning to their cottages and looking forward to enjoying more time outdoors. To help us keep safe this summer, we have Kidde fire safety educator Stephanie Brzezinski with us to share a few cottage fire safety tips. Good morning to you, Stephanie. I always get excited.
Good morning, Bill.
I always get excited this time of year because nothing but warm, carefree days ahead. But they're not all carefree. They can be if we consider certain things. So what are some of the top 3 safety preventative measures most people forget to take when they first open their cottage?
Sure. So it's always exciting. Cottage season is one of the best seasons, right? It's a lot of fun. But when you open that cottage door, drop the bags, and first thing first, check your smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Make sure they're functioning properly. It's very easy. Most have a test button right on the front of them. Just press that test button and listen for the sound. You also want to make sure to change out the batteries if you have battery-operated smoke alarms. Or better yet, you can replace your smoke alarms with a 10-year battery-operated alarm that lasts the lifetime of the alarm, so you don't have to worry about making those battery changes. And lastly, make sure to clean around the alarm. Get rid of any cobwebs and dust that might have accumulated during the winter months. And what many people don't think about is the age of their alarms. Flip it over, look at the back, check for the manufacturing date, and see how old your alarm is, because every alarm needs to be replaced between 7 to 10 years. So that's the first thing, is your smoke and CO alarms. The second thing is to inspect and clean any of your appliances in the home before you fire up the barbecue. Make sure your propane tank and your hose don't have any leaks in it. Be sure to clean that barbecue of any oil and debris that might have accumulated from last year. And then also, it's a really good time to have, excuse me, any of your gas burning appliances checked by a professional. That could include your chimney. It could include your dryer, your gas stove. Go ahead and hire that professional to come in and make sure everything is functioning properly. So those are the 2 top things. And the third thing is to check your outdoor space. Make sure you have any debris that might have accumulated during the winter months. Clean those sticks, brush, twigs away, just in case of a brush fire.
Yeah, really great tips. You know, sometimes we think we just turn the key and start the summer fun, but these things will make it a much better, much safer summer. So maintaining a seasonal property, Stephanie, can be a bit stressful since we're not always there to monitor potential hazards that could lead to damage. Any tips for us on how we can better protect our cottages when we're away?
Sure. So Kidde offers a suite of smart home safety devices, which is great because you can get alerts sent straight to your phone. So if any smoke is present, any carbon monoxide is detected, or any water is detected, because we also have a smart water leak and freeze detector. Again, you can get those notifications instantaneously right to your phone, no matter where you are, as long as you are connected to Wi-Fi. So again, it's a smart smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. It's a smoke plus carbon monoxide alarm with indoor air quality monitor. And that's great for people who might have allergies. It can look for any TVOCs, total volatile organic compounds, that are present in the home. And again, the water leak detector.
Wow. I'm filing this away because I don't have a cottage yet, but my sister does, and I'm gonna pass these on to her. You know, we also spend a lot more time outdoors when we're at the cottage, obviously, because we want to enjoy the outdoors. But what are some of the fire and carbon monoxide hazards we need to keep in mind outside the cottage?
Yeah, sure. So the barbecue is number one. That generates a lot of carbon monoxide, as well as generators, which we all know we keep on hand during storm season, which technically always occurs during cottage season. Unfortunately, we have to deal with the storms too. So if you are using a generator or your barbecue, make sure you're doing so in a well-ventilated space, at least 10 feet away from the home, so you don't get any of that carbon monoxide built up and entering your home. Another thing, if you plan on having a campfire, maybe you want to roast some s'mores, check the burn ban status in your area. Make sure there's not one in effect, so that you can have a safe campfire, and always keep, of course, a bucket of water close by, and a fire extinguisher. That is key. Make sure not only that you have a fire extinguisher, but that you know how to use one. We have an easy acronym to remember. It's called PASS, P-A-S-S. Pull the pin, aim, squeeze the trigger, and slowly spray at the base of the fire.
That's amazing. And kind of quickly, just some of the more vulnerable, some of us are more vulnerable, or vulnerable guests we have when it comes to fire safety at our cottage. What can you tell us about that, and how can we improve fire safety rather for those at risk, the people we invite to the cottage, or families coming up?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, there are vulnerable communities, people who are more at risk of home fire deaths. One of those groups is children. So KIDA has a program. It's called Cause for Alarm. It's an award-winning fire safety education program. And we focus on all demographics and all vulnerable communities. But this year, our focus is again on children. 84% of Canadian parents think that their child would know what to do in the event of emergencies of a fire at home. But unfortunately, we're finding that that's not exactly the case. A lot of these children don't know what to do. They may practice fire drills at school, but they're not practicing fire drills at home. So again, we want to make sure everyone has a working smoke alarm, a working carbon monoxide alarm, and then talk about fire safety with your family. Sit down, have this critical conversation, and make sure you have a fire escape plan. That's also critical. Whether you own the cottage or you rent the cottage, look around and make sure you know 2 ways out of every room in the event of a fire, because we hear it all the time. Oh, this will never happen to me. And then unfortunately it can, and it does happen to anyone.
That is so smart. I remember growing up in Montreal, we had a family plan to escape the house. It's something we have to be reminded of sometimes. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for sharing those great cottage fire safety tips with us this morning. And if you'd like to find out more, you can visit www.kidacanada.com.